the best way to play 66 inside. Gets you out of the hand, gets your bets pressed up. Is it my new favorite way to play 66 inside? Let's find out.
What is up, everybody? Chris the Dice DJ here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today, we're going to be playing my favorite way to play the 66 inside, but we're going to get a little bit more aggressive with it. All right. So, if you guys haven't seen it, I'll put a card to it up above. You can go take a look. But this comes to us from Ted, Mr. Special Delivery, on a way to play 66 inside, which I really do like. And we're going to take that 66 inside, and I'm going to press a little bit more aggressively than Ted had told me about and how Ted typically presses. Now, Ted can press aggressively because I have played with him in the past multiple times, but I'm just going to show you how I like to press and with this strategy. All right, so we're going to random roll for the most part, but we're going to go 66 inside. Okay, so I'm going to drop out 70. So we'll need some dollars. All right, and now these bets are going to be off on the come out, but I'm going to set it up anyway. And the thing I like about this is you get out of the hand, but you have a lot of opportunity, right? A lot of times when you regress off the 66, you don't have a ton of opportunity. You got to build up that opportunity. With this one, we have opportunity right off the bat. All right. So bring that back to the rack. Here we go. Coming out. Again, our bets are off. And we got midnight, 12 craps. Does nada for us. We don't care. And be good if my mouse was in the right spot. All right, 12 craps. And there's a 639. All right, so that's our point. So mark up the 9. All right, now we're going to press 22 inside on the first hit. We'll collect on the next hit. Hopefully, we'll collect on the next one and pull the 9 down, and then we'll be good to go. Here we go. And we got a yo. Does nothing for us. 6-5 yo. There's a 5-3. Easy 8. All right, so it's going to pay us $21. Right? We're going to drop $1 out of our rack and press 22 pressure inside. All right, so there's the dollar out. This goes up. This goes up. Okay, 22 pressure inside. Here we go. Got a 6-4-10. Does nothing for us, but I think that is the tall in 5 rolls. If we were on it, we're not on it, but if we were on it, that would be the tall in 5 rolls. Wow. And there's a hard 6, the double degen, 3-3. We like that. All right, so that's going to pay us $28. We're going to collect this one. All right, so 28 we collect. Back in the rack that goes. There's a 4-1-5. All right, so it's going to pay us another $28, right? And now we're going to pull down the 9. Now, that will get us covered for our bets. Next hit, we're going to go 96 across. All right. So the way that this sets up is really nice because having 96 across gives you, like I said, a lot of that opportunity. Whereas in a regression to like 44 inside, it's really hard to make a lot of money from a place like that, right? There's a 4-2-6, which is perfect because that is going to pay us again $28, right? I'm going to pay it out in reds and whites because it's going to look a little bit easier, right? So 28. Now we're going to take this all to 96 across, which happens to work out perfectly. All right. Here's a nickel here. Okay. So we'll change that out. And now we have 15 for the 9 and 15 for the 10. Okay. We're good to go. Now from here, I'm going to full press, collect, full press, collect. That's how I like to press and collect. You can really do it however you want. We're not going to get an opportunity to do that because we're going to get the 7, but it don't matter because we're out of the hand. Right? We're out of the hand. If you were on the tall there, that would have been nice. We weren't on it. Is what it is. Okay, so there's group number one in the books. No harm, no foul. We got our bets out there. We had the opportunity. It is what it is. Here we go. New point is going to be an 8, 5, and a 3. All right. We will turn the puck on the 8. Okay. And we're going to go 66 inside. Here we go. Aces in both places does nothing for us. 5, 3, 8. Frontline winner on the 8. But that is hit number 1 for us, so we'll certainly take it. All right, so it's going to pay us $21. Right? We are going to take the 21, drop a dollar. We'll add a dollar from our rack, right? Goes up 22 inside. Turn the puck off. Coming out. Our bets are off. Here we go. Then we got an AC deuce, 3 craps. Doesn't matter for us. Five, 3, 8. Back on the 8. All right. That'll be our point. Get that marked up. Here we go. 5, 4, 9. Perfect. That is going to be hit number 1. Well, technically hit number 2, but hit number 1 that we're getting paid and collecting on. Right. So it's going to pay 28. We're going to collect the 28. Okay. 5, 4, 9 again. Right. So that is going to be hit number 2, and that is going to make us pull down the 9. Now, some people were asking me in the comments and via email, why would you pull the 9 down if the 9 is hitting? Well, that's the way the strategy works. If you don't want to pull the 9 down, you don't have to. You could pull your 5 down or whatever. But this basically sets up very similar to an iron cross minus the field, right? But that's how it works. So if you're rolling 9s, you want to pull something else down, go for it. And there's an exact example of it, right? 3 9s in a row. It's okay, right? We're good. There's a 3-1-4. We're not out there yet. And if you do happen to lose here, right, it's really no harm, no foul, because we've pulled back money to the rack. So this is basically covered. That's why we pull the 9 down. Midnight, all the dots in all the spots. Looking for a 5, 6, or 8. And there's an 8, 5, and a 3, which is also a frontline winner on the 8. All right, so that's going to pay us 28. Again, I'm going to pay it in reds and whites, right? Because we're now going to go 96 across. Okay. These white are going to turn into a red. All right, and we'll set up 96 across. Coming out now, looking for a new point. Our bets are off. Here we go. And we got a hard 10. The Old Bay Bushel. If you haven't seen, Craig and I have done a podcast. We started a podcast. We're on like episode 7 right now. Loving it. That's our point. Link is down below if you want to go check it out. Here we go. 628. All right, so the 6-2 is going to pay us $21. Right? Now, you have options here, how you want to press, whatever you want to do. I take my 8 to 30. Okay. So it's 9 change. I take it to 30. You could go higher if you wanted to. I just like 30 because it's clean and allows me to press nicely. And these caps usually go to the dealers. Say, put the dealers on the inside or whatever. If you've played with me, you know that's what I do. All right, here we go. Hard 4, 2-2. All right. So what do I do on the 4? Right. So that's gonna pay us $27. Right. What do I do on the 4? Well, you could go to 25, take the 15 back, but I go to 35. Okay. Dollar for the VIG, $6 back to the rack. And the reason I go to 35 is I try to run the flip now. Right? I'm gonna try to flip the 4 if we can. And the 10. I do the same thing on the 10. Is it likely? No. Is it possible? Absolutely. And there's a 10. So we're gonna do the same thing on the 10, right? It's also a frontline winner on the 10. So we'll turn the puck off. Okay. So it's gonna pay us 27, right? Goes to 35, dollar for the VIG, and $6 back to the rack. Okay. Bets are off. We're coming out. Here we go. Ace deuce. Oop, it wasn't ace deuce. There it is. Ace deuce. Really doesn't matter. It's a come out roll anyway. But it's an ace deuce. There's a heart 8 square pair. That will be our new point. All right. Now, Ted also runs a $2 or $3 C, $2 E. If you want to run that, you certainly can. Not going to run it for right now. We're just going to keep it rocking. And there's a 617. So all of that to really make no money, right? Why? Because I'm aggressive and pressing. Great roll that I didn't take advantage of because DGen wanted to be too aggressive. This also goes to show you why being aggressive isn't always the best idea. Can you make a lot of money? Sure. Should you be pulling money off the table? Abso-freaking-lutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. Right? All right. Let's pretend I'm shooting now. Okay. Why? Because DGen wants to shoot. All right. So I'm going to do my normal stuff. And if you haven't seen, I put a video out on come out action recently. I'm going to run it now. All right. We're going to go $20 on the line. Right. Actually, sorry, 15 on the line. 555 on the ATS. I'm just going to put it right here so you can see it. And a $5 world bet. All right. This is what I do when I'm shooting. Okay. I want to show it from that example as well. You could forget about the ATS. I'm going to put it up there just because when I am shooting, I do play the ATS. So I'm going to put it out there. Got a 549 as our point. Okay. So we'll pull this into view for all of you. Now, the world bet's going to lose. Okay. Point is 9. We're going to go 66 inside. Now, technically speaking, right, I should put my odds down behind the 9. However, I'm not going to do it. And the only reason I'm not going to do it is because this system, right, uses the 66 inside with a lot of moving parts and stuff. So I'm not going to put it as odds. Yes, I know the odds pay better. So for all my keyboard warriors who want to come tell me the odds pay better, I'm very, very well aware that they pay better. Okay. And we got a 3-1-4. Does nothing for us. All right, 3 and a 1. There's a 6-4-10. So I'm going to throw all the outside numbers. Why? Because I'm not on them. Right? That's why I'm going to throw them. 6-4-10. Let me get that entered into the roll tracker. Another 3-1-4. Should I be on the outsides now? Yeah. All right. Can I get out of the freaking hand here? Need some inside hits. There's one to 4-1-5. All right. There's hit number 1. Okay. So it's going to pay us 21. Right. We're going to drop $1. 22 pressure on the inside. Fumble fingers over here. All right. Here we go. There's another 4-1-5. The 1 is up in the corner there. I will pull it down right now. Okay. 4-1-5. pays us 28, right? And that's a collect. Need another inside hit, and then we'll be pulling the 9 down. There's a 5-4-9. Okay. So the 5-4, right, is going to pay us again $28. It's also a frontline winner on the 9. All right. So that's going to pay us 28, and we're going to get 15 for the line bet. We're going to turn the puck off, and the 9 would be coming down now. Right now, if I had this 20 behind the line, I'd be getting paid 30 instead of 28. Again, like I said, I know that it pays better, but for the way the strategy works, I was going to leave it out there. All right. Now, world bet, right? Because I have to place the world because some of you know me and my horns on the come out. I like to throw them occasionally. Oh, there's a 4-3-7 on the come out. So what does that do? Well, it pays the pass line. Okay. The whirl's a push, and I'm going to lose the ATS. So basically, it's a wash for me because my pass line's going to replace my ATS. My world bet's a push. Here we go. And nothing happens to our bets, obviously, because they were off. And there's a 5-1-6. Okay, so that's our new point. All right, our world bet will fall. Again, yes, I know that pays better. I'm leaving it where it is because that's what I've been doing. All right, here we go. There's a 4-2-6 right back. All right, so we're going to hit our point right back. We're going to get paid another $28, and we're going to be coming out again. Right? Now, with the payment of the $28, we're going to go 96 across. Right? Here's that. And I'm also going to get paid 15 on the line because, right, I have a line bet out there. So we're going to go 96 across. This turns into a red chip. All right. And we're going to rack 10 of this and back on our $5 world bet. Here we go. Ace deuce. Now, this is where the world, $5 world dollar ace deuce makes more sense because it's actually cost me money, right? Because I'm going to lose my pass line bet. I'm going to get paid 11 for my world bet, right? Now, what I do here is probably a little unadvisable. If you had the dollar there, that's why the dollar ace deuce makes a lot of sense there. I'm going to replace my pass line and take this to a $16 horn. I'm going to put it right there because my horn's covered by the dice camera. But now that's a $16 horn. That's what I do. And we got a 6-4-10. All right. So it's going to be our new point. All right. Our horn's going to fall. It is what it is. We were trying. Right. We'll put that over there. And yes, again, I know it pays better, but I'm going to leave it up there just because I can. At this bet level, it really doesn't make that much sense. Honestly, it's a couple bucks. It makes more sense the higher you get up on those bets. There's a 3-1-4. All right, so with the 3-1-4, right, we're going to do what we did before, where it's going to pay us 27. Okay, it's going to go to 35. Dollar for the vig, $6 back to the rack. There's another ace deuce. Does nothing for me. You could see the 2. Here's the 1. Acey deucey. All right. There's a 549 center field. Okay. It's going to pay us 21, right? Goes straight to 35. 15 and 20 is $35 back to the rack. And the reason the dollar goes back to the rack is because if I hit this, right, it's going to pay me $49 or 50 for one. So that dollar's already ready for me to go to the next level. So there's a 516. Okay. 5 and a 1. Right. So this is going to go to 30. It's going to pay me 21. Right. It's going to 30. $9 back to the rack. All right, here we go. Got a hard 8, square pair. Right, so that's going to do the same exact thing the 6 just did. Right, it's going to pay 21. I'm going to pay it 25 for 4 since I have so many whites. Okay. And this is going to go to 30. And here's my change. Didn't really get rid of any whites there, but it is what it is. Close enough. Just put that on top or off to the side. Who cares? Love them when there's no space in the rack for chips. When we're running out of room in the rail, that's always a good thing. There's the 6-4-10, which is a frontline winner on the 10. Okay. So that is going to turn the puck off. Again, I know it would have paid me more down the bottom. I know. 15, right? And it's going to pay me 27 on top. Okay. $35 for the VIG, $6 back to the rack. And this is going to go to the whirl, right? Because we're coming out looking for a new point. And we're going to reset the ATS, push on everything, 617. That $15 should have been in the rack. It wasn't a $30 line bet. This should have been over here. All right, push on everything, call it good. Here we go. 6-4-10. All right, back on the 10. Loving that 10. All right, let's mark the puck down there. Again, another good roll, but we're pressing up a lot of numbers. We need to hit some of these numbers again to bring us back some money, right? That's the problem with being a little bit aggressive. There's an ace deuce, does nothing for me. We don't care. Need to hit some repeats here. There's a 549. Okay. So that will be a payment for us. All right. So it's going to pay 50 for that dollar. It was already set up, remember? Now, full press, I collect. Okay. Here we go. And there is the Cinco Dos Adios. So that is going to cost us, again, the aggressive plays here didn't really benefit me because of the lack of repeating numbers, right? Typically, when you are hitting a lot of numbers, right? That was a good roll, but we didn't pull that much money back because we were getting a little aggressive. Yes, we had a lot of opportunity out there, unfortunately, but we didn't make a ton of money. But see, this is why sometimes showing what happens when you get aggressive is good because it doesn't always work out the way you think it would, right? Anyone can tell you, oh, I had a 30 roller. What was the 30 roller and how did you bet the 30 roller? That would be my question for you, right? Start with 1,000. There's 400. There's 500. There's another 500. So the rest of this is profit. It's not a ton of profit because, again, didn't collect as much as I should have, right? But there's 105. Here's another 100, 25, 30, 33. So $133 in profit. Not going to complain, of course, right? 3 shooters worth. But let me know what you guys think of this. Obviously, the aggressive move was not the move today, but let me know what you think of the strategy as a whole. Again, if you haven't seen the Full of Chips podcast with me and Crab, go check it out. It's linked down in the description and below. I love you all. Don't forget, you all have a little DGen in you, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Peace.